We on? Okay. Good evening. This is the 7 PM starting of the Conservation Commission meeting of May 22nd, 2024. And our first hearing, this one,
Good guess.
this it, onward. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission Notice of Intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of Peter Doherty to perform at 19 Homeward Lane, Walpole, Mass., map 12, lot 9 and 1, an aquatic management program within the on-site 0.8 acre pond. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or www.walpolemA.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing in the above matter will be held in person on May 22nd, 2024, beginning 7 PM. All interested persons are requested to be present. So, representing the applicant, Melissa, do you have anything to read in? Don't see anything. Okay. Representing the applicant?
Good evening. My name is Colin Goslin. I'm representing the applicant, Mr. Doherty. Work for Water and Wetland. So we were contacted by Mr. Doherty last year. We did a brief survey of the pond, small man-made pond. Actually, there's two homeowners who currently own it. The neighbor did sign off on it, but it does have one particular invasive species that's very rare in the state. I only know of a handful. There's one other site in Canton, but parrot feather. So not sure how it got introduced into the pond, whether it was intentional, whether it came in by waterfowl or whatnot. But highly invasive. I was there actually last week. It's taking up approximately like 60% of the pond. So we are proposing to treat that with an herbicide, as well as there may be some algae, possibly some duckweed that may come along. But the main issue right now is definitely the parrot feather. So we're proposing to do that. Once we get that under control, possibly put an aeration unit in there, kind of get the water moving, keep things cleared up. Pretty straightforward, but happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Okay. Landis?
I have nothing really to add, just as I wrote in my report, a little history that this is a basin that was excavated out from a stream for the subdivision up there in North Walpole. So it was, at the time, a detention basin, but it was excavated out prior to 1996, so it is considered a resource area, therefore needed a notice order of conditions to treat the pond. Have you noticed any exiting the pond in the stream? Or
No, we looked. As of right now, we haven't, but it's definitely something we'd keep an eye on.
Yeah.
It's you don't want it in any other.
Right, no, we don't. We have enough already,
Yeah.
as you
It's got enough.
guys know.
Yeah.
We don't need it to go anywhere else, and, it could just travel along the waterways, but, it's definitely a good thing. I got a couple of calls initially, just of people wondering what's going on, mostly concerned for the pond, because they've also noticed that it's been overgrown, and, we're sort of weary about what that was and concerned, but I conveyed the message to Water and Wetlands, and probably, I think Joe might have talked to a couple of people.
Yep.
And so I think that this is a good thing to issue an order of conditions, and I just have a few special conditions in my report, which are generally what we usually put in these type of vegetative management order of conditions.
Okay. Bailey?
When might these treatments start?
Fairly soon, pretty much. It's already growing pretty rapidly, so I think the ideal time is June, so pretty much we're right at the window.
Perfect. That's all. Thank you.
Doug?
I see the EPA has a limit of 150 parts per billion for this herbicide.
Yep.
Do people near the pond have well water?
So no one directly actually Peter does have an irrigation that he does for his, the outdoor plants, so that'd be shut off, but it's a 3-day irrigation restriction. So we actually, there's 2 homeowners that we know that actually own property around it. You know, it doesn't, the herbicide that we use doesn't have any, soil activity, so it won't move in through the groundwater. So we will post signs up and, you know, irrigation will be shut off only for direct. If you have a well 100 feet from it, it's fine.
So there aren't any wells that
No.
close for drinking water? Yeah, okay, that was it.
Medium?
No questions.
Al?
Well, I noticed that where it is, and I remember the developer at the time was considering that as a stormwater basin, and we were still learning how to have stormwater basins, and I didn't recall it having a name at that time, so the guy that owns the half the property there, he decided to name it after himself. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had to put a name to it somehow, so I'm sure some of the locals may have, I know it was heavily used for, you know, pond hockey back in the day.
Okay, now, in your report, you have the parrot feather, but you also have water meal.
Yep.
I have a pond about as big as 2 of these rooms, and it's covered with the water meal. And by the end of next week, you won't see any water there. It's just like a green lawn.
Right, right.
So if you don't treat to get rid of the water meal, and you just treat for the parrot feather, it won't take long before the whole pond is covered with water meal.
Yeah, so we are proposing to, you know, treat for that as well, if it gets to those conditions, but, you know, we're hoping it doesn't, you know, really stagnant water, the water meal, the duckweed tends to take off.
Well, duckweed isn't as bad because ducks and geese eat the duckweed, but they don't eat the water meal.
Right, right.
Okay, I think it's great that somebody's willing to take on the task of making sure that the stormwater basin is gonna continue to work.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all, John.
So where's parrot feather native to?
I believe Asia, so it's.
So is it an aquarium plant?
Yeah, it's in a
water.
Oh.
It's a good looking plant.
Oh, so there you go. Okay, and it's not just gonna take that out, it's gonna take the other aquatic vegetation too. I mean, it's not like it's gonna leave the water mill by itself, right?
Right,
It's gonna
yeah.
take all, which is fine, I mean, but isn't it gonna remove all the floating vegetation?
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
you know, possibly drop the oxygen
It's
level.
not selective to this one plant,
No.
it wouldn't
no.
be, no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's it, thanks.
You're planning on an aeration system?
Yes, I mean, that hasn't been finalized, but the homeowner was proposing a possible small surface aeration system, kind of keep the water moving.
Okay. Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Hearing none. Someone make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a nice night.
Close the hearing and vote.
Oh, we need to vote for the order, yes. Anything special in there? Linda, or just what
Yeah,
you've
in my
got?
report, one, to notify the commission, I first wrote 72, but maybe 48 hours, they're gonna do it soon before treatments, provide commission with a DEP permit to apply, post signs at Homeward and Independence Drive with the date of treatment and contact information, provide commission with pre-treatment and post-treatment reports annually. That's if it's gonna be a continuous thing. And use the best management practices as stated on page 13. The order of the notice.
Okay, anybody have anything else to add? Yes.
I'm just thinking the posted signage probably should also go up 72 hours beforehand. Give people advance notice on the signage.
That it's gonna be treated during a particular time?
Yeah.
I mean, day?
Yeah, just like you wanted a 72-hour notice to the commission.
Isn't that what this means?
Okay. So post signage at Homeward and Independence Drive with the date of, okay.
With the date of
In
application,
advance.
with the date that they're gonna apply it, right?
Right, I was thinking after applying, honestly, not the date they were going to, not prior to, but if you want prior to, with the date they're gonna apply.
I
What would
think
be the
that's,
reason for that?
well, I use a pond in Walpole, and I remember a few years ago, there wasn't much advance warning, and people make plans to go into the water or something, you want to let them know.
No one uses that for any.
No one
recreation.
uses it, it's more of it coming
It's a
in out.
retention basin, really.
Okay. Just seems like signage should go up ahead of time with the date. But
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever you guys prefer.
That makes a certain amount of sense, yeah. In general, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we have an exception just because we're not sure people are using it.
there might be people that fish out of it.
Right. It's a totally on private property, so it's not like other people other than the owners would be
Okay.
to the pond. But we can do, I mean, that can be included, just so that people know anything coming out of the pond onto their property or along that waterway. That's what I was thinking more about. So, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, so we want to make that a motion for the,
So
order?
moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
600.
Josh had to go get a signature page.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the extra one's on here just for that.
We've got Frontier Drive, is this here? Or do we-
Yep, Frontier Drive's the next one. Sorry, I do.
Okay.
Frontier Drive. Same thing.
11 Frontier Drive. Is this the famous 11 Frontier Drive? Is that the famous one?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that the famous 11 Frontier Drive?
No.
No, not that. Remember
No.
years, okay.
no, Emilio, it's
That's
not.
across the street, maybe.
Okay.
That one's going, yeah, that, I haven't heard much about that one. This is that, oh, yeah, this is the pond.
Town of Walpole Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission requests for determination of applicability. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice hereby given the intent of Ronald Cobb to construct at 11 Frontier Lane, Walpole, Mass., map 8, lot 19, an 8 by 12 shed within the 100-foot buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetlands. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person, May 22nd, 2024, beginning at 7:10 PM. All interested person request to be present. Okay, let's see, we have anything here? I don't think so. Okay, representing the applicant?
Dan Merrickin with Legacy Engineering. All set? Okay. This is an existing single-family home at 11 Frontier. When you turn into Frontier, it's on the right, down 2 or 3 houses. Existing home, existing front yard, existing backyard, existing driveway. There's a wetland off-site, and it extends into the property just up to the edge of the driveway. They would like to install a shed within their landscaped area. It's at the outer edge of the 100-foot buffer zone. It involves putting in a leveling gravel pad, putting a shed on it. Pretty straightforward. So we proposed a small amount of compost stock. It's going to be a very quick operation. It's a prefabricated shed.
Okay. Landis, any comments?
There we go.
Quicker than I could get it up on the screen.
Sorry.
Nothing really, it's outside, it's over 50 feet away from the wetland area, and they've got the compost sock and existing lawn area, right?
Yes, existing planting area. It's landscape plantings and lawn. It's a combination.
So it doesn't appear to have any impact on the resource area.
Okay. Bailey?
And you're gonna use the existing driveway to
Yes, for
bring it
access.
in and out?
Yep.
That's it, thank you.
Doug?
Will they be storing chemicals in the shed?
Just normal yard stuff. Lawnmower. Yard care stuff.
Okay. Just incidental things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, if you're gonna speak, you need to use the microphone.
This is the applicant.
Oh, yeah, I understand, but we need to, you're on TV, so we need people to pick up, see what you have to say.
I can just repeat what she said. It's just going to be used for landscape equipment for the house. That's all.
Yeah. Does that cover your question,
Yep,
then, Doug?
yep.
Okay, Emilio?
Any excavation, or you just using, just,
They're going to fill, the area's got a little depression in it, so they're going to go in and they're going to remove the loam and then put a pad of gravel down, and then they put blocks down, and then they set their shed on top of that.
okay. You trucking that stuff away, you trucking anything off?
Yeah,
away?
anything that has to go gets trucked away.
Okay. Same day, or you just gonna,
I mean, the gravel pad prep is a one-day deal, and then they go away, and then the shed people come in and install the shed.
okay, that's it.
Al?
No questions.
Betsy?
No questions.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Hearing none, does someone make a motion to close the hearing?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. You're suggesting a -3? Does someone want to make that a motion for a -3?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay. It's not Friday. Josh is left.
I have determinations too.
So Josh is not finding something.
You left early.
He gave his notice and then decided not to come back.
Give us notice. I'm out.
Okay, what do we have next is 7:15. We have also Robbie here, do we need to read, or is that just discussion?
So just discussion about, I have,
to say anything? There's nothing to read in.
Nope, just Dan American is here to discuss with the commission a request for minor modifications, or if the commission considers a major modification to the Al Sarabi Estates subdivision plan that was approved by the commission a year ago, I think,
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
So it's, again, for the record, Dan American with Legacy Engineering. It's a twofold request. One is, if the commission finds it's a minor to grant an extension, the permit comes up in July. So let me just,
What sheet is that, Dan?
this one is sheet C5.
Oh, okay.
So this is a subdivision that you guys approved in 2021. Starlight Drive is at the top of the page. There's an existing home with an existing driveway, and the subdivision was a private way type of subdivision where we converted the existing driveway into a private road. And part of that work involved extending the driveway down and putting a cul-de-sac. We have a stormwater management system designed with a basin here and a basin here for the road. Those have been installed. Most of the road work here, the utility work, has been done. What the applicant wants to do is the applicant wants to relocate the cul-de-sac from here to here for a couple of reasons. One is that because it's very close to their existing house, and second, because they have a couple of out structures that were, in the interest of saving road construction, were going to be in an easement on another lot, and they would rather have it on their own lot. So the proposal is basically still a 4-lot subdivision, 3 new houses, 1 existing house. All of this is exactly the same. The stormwater management system was over-designed to begin with, so it's the same, it doesn't change. The road gets 62 feet longer, and we move some lot lines around, and that's basically the change. And all of this changed work here is outside of the buffer zone. The buffer zone line runs right through here, comes right along in through here. So what you have is basically this part here, the stormwater basins, that work was in the buffer zone. That work is all just about done. Now, the town engineer has asked that we do an interim as-built of the stormwater management system, just so we can check it and make sure everything looks okay, and that's underway. We have the field work done, we're drawing the as-built plan. It's not quite done, should be done at the beginning of next week. And I will provide that to the commission and to Landis, and town engineer wanted us to sit down and meet and just go over it, so we'll do that. But essentially, it's a pretty small change. It doesn't expand the scope of the project. It doesn't change the houses. It doesn't change the location of the houses. None of those are permitted. The houses are separate from the road. The order conditions is only for the road construction. So really, all that's left to do for the road construction in the buffer zone is to do the final paving, really. I think they have to do some work for the power, too. That's about it.
Okay. Dennis?
How about the buffer zone restoration area? Has that been looked at?
Yeah, I have to get, actually, I want to get Russ Waldron out there to look at that, to come up with some ideas for that. So that's on my list of things to do as well, and I can sit down, when we talk about the as-built, we can go over that as well.
Okay.
So there was an old buffer zone there was an old replication area here that didn't take too well, associated with the original construction of the house in 1997. So part of the work that we agreed to do was to improve that area. So that's still planning to be done.
Improve that area, and then the buffer areas at the end of the cul-de-sac where there was some fill
Yes,
and all
here.
those- Yeah.
This stuff, yes, you're right. There's a wetland in town land, Adams Farm, off-site. And this area here was disturbed. So part of the work that was approved was to basically revegetate and restore this area. So it's been regraded, it's been loamed, it's been seeded, grass is growing. A bunch of plants were installed, but the deer ate them all. So they're gonna be replanted and probably fenced off so that they can, catch and grow. So those plants need to be replanted, but all of the kind of the hard work has been done. So that's something that we will also take care of.
Okay. Anything else, Landon? Okay. Bailey?
No questions.
Doug?
No questions.
Mia? Al?
Is there a roadway or a driveway or something connecting the new location for the barn and the kiln to the cul-de-sac? Is there something?
Well, this is all basically, this is all open right now, so it's all kind of part of their yard, but they'll have access with the new road, with the old road and with the new road, they'll be able to just drive down the road and go into that area, but they're gonna continue to use this area here that's outside of this area that was restored.
So you're not planning to have a driveway to go to the barn?
They might put a
You're just gonna
driveway cut in
Drive
the,
across the woods or whatever's there?
there's no woods there now, it's basically just open area. They might put a driveway cut on the cul-de-sac, they might, for that. That would be in this area here. Would just be a gravel driveway.
Well, I'd be more comfortable if I saw something delineated there. Okay, that's all I have, Jack.
Okay. Betsy?
Yeah, no comment.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, someone make a motion to close the discussion.
So moved.
Okay, and now we have to decide whether this is a minor or a major change. Thoughts?
It's minor.
Yeah, I can
Comments?
go with minor. It's an opportunity to get the plantings straightened out, so
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, they have to
needs
do
be
that
done.
anyways under their original order of conditions.
maybe it wouldn't have happened in this season though, or something, right?
Do you want anything put in at this point?
No, I think it's a
Letter?
minor modification. The additional work is outside the buffer zone and doesn't really impact the buffer zone, so.
Okay. Anyone have any comments on that? Want to make any other comments?
Minor.
Okay, so we'll make that a motion for a minor.
So
adjustment.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 600.
And then he needs an extension too.
And this is a 12-month extension, is that what we've been doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make a motion for a 12-month extension to the existing order.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 600.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. For the extension,
Yes,
do you send a letter?
yes.
And just,
Say the
Comment
commission
about
voted the
whatever
minor
questions,
modification to
Okay.
the request. Whatever was uploaded is what was submitted for this notice.
Donald Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission Notice of Intent. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice here given the intent of Wall Street Development to construct an extension of Warwick Road, including an 8x4 culvert, stream crossing within the town's right-of-way with associated water and sewer utility line infrastructure and stormwater drainage basins and roadway located at portions of 315 and 319 Summer Street, Walpole, Mass., map 56, lot 89 and 90. The application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office at walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person, May 22nd, 2024, beginning 7:20 PM. All interested persons requested to be present. Okay. The town engineer. This is to planning board. Planning board. Anything in here, stormwater? Engineer has requested volume waiver from SR&R IV-6A6. If this volume waiver is not granted, the detention infiltration basins will need to be enlarged and the stormwater report revised. Given that the downstream conditions have not been analyzed, I am not recommending this waiver. So I guess that has something to do with us as well. Um, All right, now this, apparently the select board did issue a memorandum on work could be existing road conditions. The conditions established by the select board have not been met. Furthermore, a new permit application with up-to-date items is noted in my memorandum, that is the town engineer's memorandum, the select board dated September 12, 23, will be required. Street opening permits are valid in the calendar year which they are issued. So I'll see how that affects us. We can revise the proposed culvert design to show wing walls shown on other plans. That's on the erosion control plan. And I see there's some references here to no north arrow being shown. Show separation between bottom of culvert and water main. Box culvert wetland crossing is not included or addressed in this report. This is in the stormwater report. Currently, a design has been proposed that appears to be based on DEP stream crossing guidelines. The sufficiency of the proposed box culvert needs to be verified by hydrologic and hydraulic calculations and either included in the original stormwater report or provided as a separate report. So, I guess that's, this is this in a butter, Mark Cohn?
Yep.
There's a letter here from an abutter, Mark Cohn of, I don't see a street address. Exercise caution when opening, residents of Boyden Lane are writing to express our concerns regarding proposed Warwick Road extension project put forth by Wall Street Development. We're unable to attend a public hearing. Development has had ongoing issues with significant flooding into the wetlands and into adjacent properties despite repeated attempts by the Conservation Committee to have Mr. Petrosi mitigate this issue. We are concerned that further disturbing the wetlands in the surrounding area will cause increased potential for flooding and damage, not only to our properties on Boyden Lane, but for the properties surrounding the proposed new development. It's apparent from the reviewing this article from Hopkinton, the developer has repeatedly shown little concern for these environmental issues in other developments as well. We bring forth these concerns under ambiguity to avoid contention and retribution between the development and Mr. Petrosi. Thank you for your attention. Okay, it looks like that's all we have. So, representing the applicant,
Good evening, Lou Petrosi for Wall Street Development. Can you tell me, we haven't received the copies of any of those correspondence, so we'd appreciate it if we could get copies of the comments
Okay.
that you just read into the record, number
a
one.
note, this is the letter from Carl Baldoff to John Conroy, Planning Board, with the references that seem to pertain at this point to conservation. So that's dated May 15th, and then the letter, I guess this is an email,
Yep. I just
dated
received this
May
afternoon.
22nd, and addressed to you.
Who's that from?
All right, go ahead.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This subdivision has a pretty lengthy history. It's been going on since August of 2022. You may recall that we previously had an ANRAD that was filed and approved by the commission prior to the filing of the notice of intent. As far as I know, this matter has been remanded back to the commission based on agreement between the town's town council and our council. So we're here to make our first presentation relative to the proposal. I'll let Rob Truax from GLM Engineering go through the basics of what the subdivision involves. You also may know that much of the, let's call it a disagreement at the original part of the process had to do with street opening permit or access to the site, which is a public way, Warwick Road, but yet not yet built, the last 50 or 60 feet. Even though it was accepted as a public way, the town never constructed it to the property line. So as part of our filing, we're proposing to construct that portion of Warwick Road to access the property that is essentially the subject of the subdivision. We're also under remand to the planning board from the land court, so we're hoping that gets resolved within the next few weeks. So we'd like to go through the process with the Conservation Commission relative to the design of the subdivision, the proposed culvert to cross the Warwick Road to access the property, and answer whatever questions you may have regarding the project. So I'll turn it over to Rob Truax. He's more knowledgeable than I am.
For the
What sheet
record,
is
Rob
that?
Truax.
What sheet is that?
This sheet, 4 of 11. It's just in color. So for the record, Rob Truax, GLM Engineering Consultants. So, just gonna flip back a little, just, I don't know where we've all left. It's been a long time since anyone's seen the site, I'm sure. So this is on the board here, I'm just showing the existing site as it sits today. This is Warwick Road that comes up, this is the site here, and colored in greens. And Summer Street is off to the south of the property. These are the two existing homes that were part of the A&R plan that took this piece out. This is Wall Street that comes into Warwick. So Warwick Road is actually paved, as you can see this colored area up to this point. This is the wetland area that was identified. This is the intermittent stream that comes down through the site. It comes down from Summer Street. I think it actually goes all the way up towards Route 1. There's an open brook right here, crossing over Warwick Road. That's the area of which we'll be crossing with the box culvert. And so our proposal is to extend Warwick Road into the site, create a cul-de-sac, develop 2 homes. We got Lot A and Lot B, we're calling them, which for all intents and purposes is 1 and 2. This is where we're proposing the box culvert. So we've sized that based on the stream stats requirements for DEP, you know, for openness ratio, et cetera. That was reviewed by myself and Paul McManus. The project, I'm gonna just go over real quick. So this is the wetland area, the light green in the middle. The site basically, the road basically slopes up from Wall Street at a constant grade up into the site and the cul-de-sac, everything flowing back towards Warwick Road. So the proposal for the drainage system is to install some catch basins right here before the crossing to intercept the water as it's coming off the site. That's gonna get piped down to a drainage basin that's down in this upland area, down off to the northern portion of the property. There is, as you probably know, there is work being proposed within the 100, within the 50, and within the 25-foot buffers. There is some wetland filling taking place on the site. You know, other than the culvert itself, there is some small wetland area for the grading around the cul-de-sac. It's about, I can't quite see it. I think it's just under 200 square feet of wetland filling. This highlighted orange line is the 25-foot wetland buffer, just kind of highlighted that out for you. And it kind of goes back around and it follows the brook. So when you get down in this area, it kind of wraps all the way around the drainage basin. So you can see the 25-foot buffer with the encroachment within that area is the light green. This light green area is inside. This is all encroachment within the 25-foot buffer up through that area as well. So it's, you know, it's a pretty simple plan overall. It's only 2 lots, 2 new homes. There's a sizable amount of land, there's a sizable amount of wetlands on the property. The runoff areas, everything sort of drains from Summer Street and up gradient towards Boyden. Everything's coming from south to north, coming down through this area. There's a pretty sizable watershed that feeds this stream that comes all the way from, you know, the backside of the parking lots up at Route 1 for the stadium. That's where it all generates and begins, is up in that area. And it comes down and crosses Summer Street through a 24-inch culvert. We're putting in I think it's a 4x8 box culvert with a stream crossing. The inside of the box gets built up, so it creates a stream bed with a gravel. And there's a detail of that within the plan set towards the backside. There's a wetland crossing detail. And we're gonna bring in the town water. The water comes up into this area here. It ends right around the intersection, so we're gonna extend that up, bring it underneath the culvert, bring it into the site. The sewer is already there. We don't have to put the sewer in. Some years ago, they brought the sewer from Summer Street, and it comes down through this easement. It goes out to Warwick Road. It already extends underneath the brook. That was done under a notice of intent when they built, I think it's Comstock Way is the subdivision that's on the other side of Summer Street. That sewer was put in for that project some years ago. So the sewer's in place, so there's no excavation for sewer. There will be underground utilities for electric, cable, TV, and et cetera. And there may be gas, there may not be gas, depending on how these houses are constructed. With the new energy codes, it doesn't appear that fossil fuels are gonna be part of the new construction, part of the new code, so there won't be that utility being extended into the site. So I think with that, that's just an overview. I'll try and answer any questions you might have on it.
Okay. Landis?
Excuse me. So I was out for almost a week and a half, so I just got to really thoroughly review this today.
I
And didn't
accept
get a
that.
chance to, yeah, vacation. didn't get a chance to send you my comments, but I have an extra copy if you want to grab this. And I think it would be best I could just go over them, and then maybe in the following days, we can go over the different items rather than going back and forth about each item tonight. We'll save some time, because I assume we're not going to do it all in one night.
I wouldn't expect you to have reviewed this one away.
Right, so first of all, I just wanted to point out for your existing conditions plan, there was an ORAD issue, but in the ORAD, wetlands flag K1 through K10 were not approved. So they are shown on the plan, but they were not approved. And W200 and W220. So it starts at K1 and then kind of wraps down and goes to 220 and then off to 200. And that was a slight change from the wetlands line that was shown on the Boyden Estates lots, so that there's a difference there. Anyway, so that should be noted on the plan. I don't think it affects your road construction, which is under this notice of intent, but I think there should be a note on the plan that those are not approved wetlands flags. Then there's 2 parcel As on your plan. I think one being the A&R for the 2 parcels that come off of Summer Street. One is A and one is B, and then the second A is the parcel that is associated with the Boyden Estates land. So that's a little confusing, but if that parcel A that's associated with the Boyden Estates, that parcel is not part of this notice of intent. If it's not part of this notice of intent, it should be noted on the plan.
It's shown as an abutter on the plan.
Shown on as in a butter.
It says NF Wall Street Development, yeah.
So the permission to work on Mr. Bowles and Devonish Day's property, which is marked as A and B on your lot, is dated July 3rd, 2021. Is it possible to get an updated letter? I mean, it's...
I could if you want.
I would recommend an updated letter. Then the applicant, okay, so as far as, when it was filed before, the issue was there was no authorization from the town to file a notice of intent for work on town land, being Warwick Road. It really was not the street opening permit, is that there was, owners are supposed to sign the notice of intent for work on their property, and there was nothing in the notice of intent that gave permission for Wall Street Development to submit the notice of intent. The agreement from the appeal was that the commission would allow it to move forward for a public hearing, but the notice of intent should be eventually signed by Jim Johnson. That was in the letter from the Board of Selectmen, but I think there's some conditions associated with that. So I'd recommend the commission move forward, but
They
Where are
can make
these-
it a condition of their approval if it becomes necessary, but
that needs to be addressed.
Where are
However,
the 2 abutters? Can you point
Commission.
to the 2 abutters whose permission is needed?
oh, so the 2 homeowners.
2 home,
The land, they own the land.
The landowners gave me authorization to
Oh.
file on their behalf.
the
Well, that's
land
what-
runs from the people who front
315
Summer
and
Street.
319 Summer Street,
oh,
the homeowners.
Right, so if the signature occurs prior to the issuance of the condition, order of conditions. Because the Board of Selectmen attached certain conditions regarding it, but that's for the applicant to follow through on, meeting those conditions. So I was out there during one of, the pretty rainy season we just recently had, and the area along Warwick Road in front of 10 Warwick Road, in between the stream and the road,
Is that on the left or?
This one? Where were you?
10 Warwick Road, so on the other side.
You think it's over here?
Yeah. So I don't think that area was reviewed at all. I don't remember through the ANRAD, but it was pretty wet there, so.
In here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they told us that they get, water there. And there is a,
Definitely was water there, so, and I don't believe it was assessed during the ANRAD.
I'd have to go back and check, it's been a while, so. But it was flagged, so I don't know if it was part of the ANRAD or not. Because it was flagged at the time.
It's not on your plan.
Oh,
We don't show wetlands there,
huh? You don't show wetlands here?
only on the subdivision side.
Oh,
Right, so on the other side of the
Line over
stream, this,
I see.
So this, I know what you're saying, I know where you are. So right here, I think this was his, she's saying like in this area, right here.
Yeah, I don't,
She-
on both sides of the other side of the stream, it seemed like just ended, wasn't assessed, so those should be assessed.
Does that go hand in hand with the other side?
I observed standing water in front of 10 Warwick. I think lot 7 Warwick is dry. I think it's just bank.
Yeah. Okay.
It should be reviewed.
I'll have to have God to go back.
Okay, the detail of the crossing that you have, it looks like it was just pasted on there. So there's a bunch of arrows, and they're just arrows with no notes.
Where are you? What drawing?
The detail sheet.
People on the crossing, right here.
No, it's these two arrows right here.
Oh, there's no notes.
I don't, what sheet is that on?
7.
7 of
7.
12? Yeah.
So
7?
if you go to 7, there's a detail of the crossing and the culvert with arrows but no notes. And the detail should also have a legend of the erosion control, the limit of work. All information related to the crossing, include detail of, also often with these crossings, there's a detail of a naturalized stream bed. So you have gravel, but what's inside the bed, it should be a couple more here and there, or look more like a stream bed.
Yeah.
You should show how you're gonna naturalize the stream bed. Then for the wetlands, you're proposing to fill a total of 598 square feet in 3 areas. Those areas, I'm calling them 1, 2, and 3. If you could identify them on the plan, that would be helpful. One is 110 square feet, then 190 square feet, and 298 square feet.
So which ones, how did you number?
I started 1 being the 110, 2 being the 190, and 3 being the 298.
And as you're going, can you point these out to us?
This is, it's not highlighted on this plan, but there's,
Is there a plan that shows any of this?
yeah, it's on sheet 4.
4.
So just to continue with this thought, is that your alteration is 598 square feet, your application is 590 feet, under the bylaw, it should be a 1 to 1.5.
There's, right here, there's I missed this, I'm sorry, when I did the presentation. I just, it's been so long, I forgot we had this. So we have a filling here of 190. There's another one over here of 110. And then there's this one here of 298.
So they're in dark hatch marks here, or dark something.
And then this was the replication area here. Yeah, if you look on sheet 4, they're labeled
But it should be a 1 to 1.5.
1 to 1.5.
Under the bylaw.
Okay.
And then the wetlands replication areas should have a 25-foot no alteration buffer established after completion. I realize that you might not be able to get all of that, and if you don't, you could mitigate it someplace else, but that should be reviewed for possibilities.
Yeah, we should put it back here.
And for, so alteration area number 1, which is the 110, which is near the wing walls of the crossing, seems like that's awfully tight. You may have a temporary alteration. Can you review that a little thoroughly in more detail? It's, it seems really difficult to set those wing walls without going a little further. And so as far as the replication plan, if you could provide a detail of the replication, I know you have a written plan, but if you can do a schematic of the replication area on the plan, including the grade to match the wetland contours and the hydraulic connection, plants, type, size, amount, soil, the base, and the organic mixture that you're gonna put in there. And then a construction phase and monitoring. We're pretty specific in the bylaw of what guide you use from DEP. I know you don't have to get into such detail as the DEP guide does, because it's relatively small, but if you could provide some more information
Yep, that's
on the
fine.
plan. And then I also would recommend no alteration plaques on the plan along the 25-foot no alteration area. And that's it.
So on the plaques and the bounds, on Lot A, that's gonna have to come back for a separate filing. I wouldn't run them all the way up there right now, I don't think, would I?
Sure.
We hold that off till we do that filing? Matt? I'm just thinking like,
There's a lot of there's a lot of,
I'm just thinking that lot's gonna come back to you for a separate filing, like a regular subdivision. It's gonna have its own notice of intent.
Both the two lots are gonna come back with individual filings.
Yeah.
right,
yeah,
probably.
both of them, yeah, they're both in the 100-foot, actually, yeah. Lane B's just partly in it, but it's in it. Yeah, so they'll both come back for individual notice of intent, so I would probably not, I'd probably just concern myself around the subdivision area, and then when we file those, they'll have bounds, we'll show the bounds for that.
And I would be clear of your limit of work for this notice of intent.
That's a good, that makes sense.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman? So, I'm just looking at the plan now, it's been a couple of years. And I'm looking at this proposed replication. Would it be better to put all the replication in one area towards the back of the stormwater basin, as opposed to these little piecemeal kind of things?
There is only one replication area.
The piecemeals are fillings.
Oh, what's this right here,
That's a
replication?
replication.
Yeah,
But you wanna move that back.
I would, yeah, it would seem to me to put the replication in back of the detention basin, since we're all gonna be already clearing that.
I would consult your wetland specialist
Okay.
as to the best place he
Okay.
thinks to put the replication area. Usually depends on topography and, you know, I know that site is got a lot of boulders, got a lot of rocks.
Yes, it's very difficult,
Very difficult site.
that's why I got it.
Anything else, Landis?
No, that's it. Just be a little clearer on your existing conditions, because I also went out there when we were having very heavy rains, and it was quite wet back in the area where I suspected that that was not included in the ORAD.
Down in the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Fair enough.
I think that the original wetlands line is correct.
Okay. Bailey, any questions at this point?
Yes, one question. Curious if you exhausted all options to stay outside the 25 no disturb with the cul-de-sac drive area.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, the issue with that is that the road's set where it comes into the property. So it's kinda coming right there. And then we just really just put the bubble on it. Didn't really do much more than that. I mean, if the planning board would grant some waivers, we could reduce pavement in the cul-de-sac, full
The
grade.
planning board said you had to put a cul-de-sac there?
You have to have a cul-de-sac, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna not,
Request the waiver. You can
we requested numerous waivers, pavement width, diameter, and we were not favorably received. I diplomatically say that. So we have what we call a waiver-free plan right now, so, but certainly, we'd love to have we'd like to have a smaller crossing. We don't need a full-blown crossing for two lots at the brook. And we certainly don't need a full-blown cul-de-sac like that. on our other projects, we're designing 82 feet wide, and how much is this, 88 or 108, or? It's just a,
Something like that, it's bigger. like
so,
80
it's
something.
not totally in our control.
Yeah, that's fair, as long as you looked into it. I
We did.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we begged.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Doug,
No questions?
Emilio? Al?
Not at this time.
Betsy?
Rob, I just have a request for next time. It didn't feel like we were all together on this. You have just one single colored plan up there. We've got black and white ones that, you know, have tiny, 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 tiny font. I mean, as the flags are being mentioned by Landis, could you point to them? Can't do it now, do it next time, please. Replication area, just point to them.
Okay.
Filling areas, just point, I mean, because that's what we care about. This is
Okay,
what, this
sure.
feels like it's not even for us. And Landis got to study a much bigger one, and then she has these wonderful detailed notes. Usually I don't feel so lost with one of your presentations.
I'm usually better. I gotta
Yeah,
admit,
they
this,
are.
this one's so old, I kinda forgot about it a little
Okay,
bit.
so,
We'll get you full-size copies of the plans, you can,
it's sort of like, okay, I'm on sheet 4, and here are the areas that this and that, and
I will
just-
do a better job.
I'm not
of
really
that.
sure what we all heard here.
I paid him.
There are a few larger plans.
There are, but I just, the whole presentation wasn't up to your standards.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Rob.
Do I have to pay him?
Usually I look forward to yours,
Oh, my God.
yeah.
She's a fan.
She's honest.
No, because you're really usually very clear, and you're like, we're on
She's
C4,
never
and here's the this.
complimented me that way.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Okay. Our next meeting is June 12th, I believe.
Yes.
Um,
Not yet.
For some reason, I have two.
So what have you got time-wise?
I just have one.
Is that,
I got two.
That's,
I'm sorry.
What's that, how about June
We each have one.
26th?
go to your next one, please. We won't be ready by then, I won't have it back
so
by that
the
time.
next one after that would be June 26th. So,
Water and wetland.
have we got anything on
What are you looking for now?
June 26th?
June 26th.
26? I
We have one
don't
hearing.
believe we have anything scheduled yet for June
You
26th.
put us last on the agenda?
How at 7 o'clock? Since we don't have anything scheduled for June 26th.
You're the
I
first.
have a ZBA
You have
meeting
the
at 6
Industrial
o'clock that
Road.
same
I see-
night
I see
in
Industrial
Medfield.
Road is scheduled, for June
Is that June
26th.
26th for Industrial Road?
I tagged that under there.
Maybe they'll get other things ahead of it then.
It's on the 12th.
Yeah, they got,
That's kind of confusing. I had to sneak it in there.
So if you look at my report too, the
Oh, I
last
see it
page, I
on your
have
report, it
everything.
just looked different on this, that's all, okay,
have other
fine.
things that get-
Right. well,
Town's electric bills.
So
What
we can
time?
go on the 26th, but if you get other items and you want to push us back, I have a meeting at 6 o'clock that night in Medfield. It's a Zoom, so I'll be right here. But it's a ZBA meeting for Medfield, and they start at 6 PM. I may be done at 7, but if you put us on and other things come up, maybe
We
you
do
can just open and
7:15.
continue us till the end of the night.
Well, we should have enough to do, make it 7:30.
7:15.
7:30 if
We don't
Tuesday,
have a
we can-
half an
we can
hour's
open
worth
it
of
and
stuff.
continue it.
That sounds good.
That would be great,
Well,
thank you.
Anything
7:30,
else?
Jack?
This-
Yeah, we can start later. We don't have anything.
So the deadline for June 26th has not passed yet, and I know of at least one
Okay.
filing that's probably coming in.
All right, because I would hate to sit here for half an hour trying to do the minutes. Yeah.
We'll do the best we can. I can always come in and entertain if you know. You'd rather hear from me than Rob, I do a much better job.
All right, so we'll make it 7:30 on June 26th. So we'll make that a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. 7:30, June 26th.
Great, thank you. Did you bring the, on the other plan? Did you bring Burns up, Brooklyn?
Okay.
This is also already looked at.
We don't have, I don't have.
out in the sun for the last week and a half.
I'm freezing too.
I'm usually not cold, but yeah.
It is it is chilly in here.
I bumped it up to 75.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
think you need a sweater when it's
temperature doesn't
85.
change just because.
Turn the heat on, huh?
So it's to keep everything zippy.
Yeah.
Zippy.
Yeah.
The road awake.
I don't know, after the Caribbean, it's cold.
Yeah.
And your blood's all thinned out now.
Going back to the island.
I don't blame you.
Okay, moving on.
Public hearing, Town of Walpole Conservation Commission, Walpole Wetland Bylaw / Land Disturbance Permit. In accordance with Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Stormwater Management Bylaw, notice hereby given the intent of Wall Street Development Corp. To construct 15 single-family condominiums altering over 40,000 square feet of land and work within the 100-foot buffer zone of wetlands and 200-foot riverfront area located at 7 Brook Lane, Walpole, Mass., map 20, lot 115, 119, 120, 137. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. The public hearing and above matter will be held in person March 27th, 2024, beginning 7 p.m. All interested person requests to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. And do we have anything new to read in here?
No, well, I just included the letter from Carl Baldoff that was referenced at the last meeting, but I didn't have a copy in the file.
Okay, you have a copy of this?
Yes.
Okay, do we need to read
When
this
I came,
in?
it's dinner time. Right before the meeting, I think we all got it.
Do we need to, there is a letter in the file from town engineer Carl Baldoff dated May 8th, 2024.
Which we've addressed, right?
And it's the updated stormwater report as well as plans. Okay, on sheet 6 of an erosion control provide calculation showing that the proposed temporary sediment basins are sized for 1 inch of runoff. Stormwater management report, test pit. The proposed detention basin area depth of groundwater was verified. Appears to be in agreement with design assumptions. Parent material was better than expected and will support calculated infiltration. No further testing required. Hydraulic analysis. Calculation appears to be missing for pipe runs from several spots. Stormwater operations management plan. Revise the reference to residents at Burns Avenue and replace with Union Square Village. Post-construction O&M revise reference to residences at Burns Avenue and replace with Union Square Village. Eliminate references Town of Walpole and roadway acceptance. Okay. All right, representing the applicant.
Good evening, Lou Petrosi, Wall Street Development Corp. So the last time we were here, we had presented the plans that, under the bylaw, as you may recall. The project was approved as a Chapter 40B development and received a superseding order from DEP. And since that time, we've decided to pursue a conventional special permit, which, for the project, reduced the number of houses from 20 down to 15. And under those circumstances, we are required to obtain an order of conditions under your local bylaw. At the last meeting, there was discussion about, and the commission allowed us to alter the 25-foot buffer and restore it, which, I don't know if you folks have anyone been down there, but we have done that, and we've actually did some plantings today, and the detention basin, the stormwater basin is constructed and will be hydro-seeded, hopefully, if the weather cooperates in the next few days. So, at the last meeting, we talked about an additional portion of degraded riverfront that the consultants and my engineer discovered that wasn't included in the original review of the project with respect to degraded riverfront. We've asked that that area be considered because it is part of the area that that's being restored. So I think that's where we left off, because I think the commission wanted more time, because that was just brought to their attention, my attention at the same time. So we've since made a request with DEP to amend for a minor modification to their superseding order to account for this additional degraded riverfront. And right now, we've had to stop work in that area until we get the blessings from the commission to move forward as degraded riverfront and restore the rest of that area. So that's kind of where we're at. Other than that, the project is proceeding according to the superseding order that we received, but for all intents and purposes, we're complying with aspects of the bylaw that were given to us by the commission at the last meeting.
With respect to the requested extension of the degraded riverfront area, since that has been, decision needs to be made by DEP. We're not going to get into that until we find out what DEP's decision is, then we can proceed. So I think it's just makes sense to wait to see what DEP has to say. There'll be whatever their procedure is, that we'll wait till that is completed, and then we can respond accordingly.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, you know, when we originally filed the notice of intent way back in the 5 years ago, whenever it was,
Okay?
the degraded riverfront was an issue that was, you know, handled at the local level, and only on an appeal did the degraded riverfront get elevated to a further evaluation by DEP. So, you know, I would think that the commission, DEP is looking for comment, and I assume that they're looking for comment from the commission as to whether or not.
By June 10th.
June 10th, right. You know, as part of the minor modification process, we were required to put an ad legal notice in the paper to advise that comments are being entertained or invited until June 10th. So, as I tried to mention at the last meeting, you know, I think it would be helpful to make that determination by coming down to the site, looking at the area like we did originally, and make a decision, because it would allow us to go further and sort of complete.
I would expect that DEP would have a site visit, which we would be, I expect we would be advised of and would participate in.
But they already did a site visit. They've already been on the site,
On this issue?
yes. Well, when he came down to do the flags,
Yeah.
I don't know, Landis, you weren't able to make it that day, but we pointed out the extra degraded riverfront when he was there.
But that was,
That was not, we were not, for some reason, we were not a participant in that site
Okay.
visit because,
I don't think that they're gonna
Apparently
do it on the site.
Pardon?
I'm not, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think they're gonna do another site visit for that particular issue.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see what they say.
Okay.
That's the point.
Well, it's-
We want to hear what they have to say, and then I think
Okay.
it
Well,
would be
it's just-
appropriate for us then to approve based on what, I mean, it's their,
It's
it's
just,
their decision on, so this, of what will affect what we do.
well, again, we're just anxious to keep the process going and
Understand
keep
that.
the work going, and right now, we have a beautiful area that we're doing with the basin and the area, that's the 25-foot buffer, and, you know, we'd just like to continue that process and get it completed as quickly as possible, so
Okay.
it really is, it's not hampering us, but it's taking it out of sequence, basically.
Yeah, well, it's an issue that has come up that needs
Yeah. No,
time
it's a-
to go through the process,
It's a surprise, yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
so.
So that's really kind of all we are, if you're gonna wait for them to do that, then,
Yeah,
then
I
we
think
can.
it's appropriate for us to find what their decision is, and then we can take that and take,
You-
use that incorporate that in our decision.
Do you think that they'll do a site visit before June 10th, or?
I
mean,
have no idea, that's in their balls, in their court.
What do you think? You think you're gonna request that?
like,
That's what I was-
I mean, I'll send an email that we met tonight and request those.
Yeah, because the last site visit, if I remember, it was it was for another issue.
Well,
so.
first it was to document the things that were not in compliance, right?
Commission had been asking you to do for a while, yeah,
Right,
I remember
yeah.
that.
Thanks for
Right.
reminding me, thanks for reminding. me. And
No
then
problem.
The next time, we did all those things, we put the flags up and everything, and he came down to verify that all the flags had been replaced. And at that time, we had already,
On some issues.
at that time, we had already identified this degraded area, so he did look at it. So, again, I don't know if he's coming back out, but I'll certainly send him an email to see if he is or not.
Seems like you should, because there should be some discussion in the field. I know, we spent a lot of time out there with consultants and Ecotech and looking at areas for quite a while, when there was tree cover too, and the whole area's been clear cut for 3 years too. So, yeah, it just seems like it should warrant a little more discussion than.
The biggest thing there was there's a lot of this debris on the surface that's clearly,
Right, which
Right,
you
so-
certainly can continue to take out and restore as the buffer zone is, which you're already doing. So you can move forward, tomorrow if you wanted to.
I know, but then I'd lose
Happy with that.
then I'd lose the degraded option, so, yeah.
You're holding your process
Well,
up.
the degraded is really important to me, so, anyways, all right, so that's really all we have to, we don't have any other information to present, other than that would be, the next
Okay.
process, so, when is your next meeting?
Can I just, there was a couple other items that we had discussed, the retaining wall behind lot 1,
Yes.
unit 1? Yes?
Yeah, we did. What about it?
Well,
No, I
that
remember this.
that would be on a revised plan.
Right, I haven't given you a revised plan
Okay.
yet.
Right, so the buffer restoration planting should be done prior to the foundation, those are all we can condition. Labeling of the ports, observation ports, and just the consistency with the Ecotech letter and the notes on the plan.
Right.
The waivers, I think we're both on board with how that works.
Yeah, so I haven't done that yet with Ecotech, got all
And
that on the
I,
plan.
I am recommending, Commissioner, that I don't think they should close the hearing issue order until we have that
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking the commission to close at all.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
weren't expecting to close
All right,
tonight.
And also the tree size, Landis.
And the tree size still really
Right, well, I think what we've done,
0.5.
so regarding the plants, because I did order and we did, get a lot of plants that we're planting, but they didn't have the size that I had requested. So, and they didn't know when they were gonna get them in, so I took what we could get, we're gonna plant what we have, and then we may have to go back in and plant some more at a later date, but I wanted to get them in before it got hot. And it turned out today was the hottest day of the year, so I can't be blamed for that. But, so there may be, you know, we did a number of plantings today, but there will be probably additional plantings that will be necessary.
Of large size caliber?
I didn't order any trees yet. I didn't order any trees yet.
Just the shrubs started going in today.
Okay,
Continue?
so we will continue this,
Well, there's neighbors here, I don't know if you want to.
probably the June 26th.
Does the,
Oh, on the same night as Warwick?
Well, I don't know, what's,
You got comments
26th
until
and the
June
12th, right?
10th, and the next meeting is the 12th. I don't think,
well, that, I would prefer for this thing to go on the 12th, because if the comment period ends on the 10th, and we're going to hopefully have a site walk before then, that may be the 12th. And if we don't have it on the 12th, then we'll just continue it out to the 26th.
Jack, do you want to ask if the audience has any
Yeah.
questions?
okay. We can do that. What do we got on for that? Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record. Okay. June 12th, we have you have anything that is conflicting with, on June 12th?
He doesn't matter in this.
He doesn't care if I come to this one.
As long as you can get us the revised plan
Yes.
I don't have
when we
any,
close.
no vacations.
That's another comment. That you,
Days off.
we're going to continue these hearings until we get revised plans,
Yeah, no, that's fine.
so that it is not practical for the commission to continue to not get revised plans because whatever is holding them up on your end.
Well, I'm
So,
gonna get her revised plans next week.
well, I'm talking about not only this project, other projects. You owe us some plans.
Oh, and the other one, I know.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Sorry.
yeah. So we're gonna hold them until you get us revised plans.
That's fine,
You know, we won't close the hearing until we get them,
that's
okay?
fine.
So,
Did he tell you about his fishing trip yet?
no, we don't have time for that. I'm sure it's a big story. It gets bigger every day.
Every day.
I'm having trouble myself getting revised
Okay,
plans.
so we've got June 12th. We have a 7:10, so we'll make it 7:15.
We have 7:15 already.
Well, we have 7:15.
32.
Make it 7:20.
Sure.
So 7:20 on June 12th for Brooks, this is what, Brook Street?
Brook Lane,
Brook Lane.
Union Village.
So we make that a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 600. Okay,
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
all right, what else we got here?
It's-
One sheet.
We have an extension for Remnar Ave and West Street. That's a large development off of Remnar and West Street. I've already discussed this with the applicant, if we can hold that off to June 12th. I just want to make an inspection of the site prior to giving you an extension.
Is that the 55 plus?
Yeah, it's the old gravel pit, right? So have they done anything up there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Rob, your phone?
Oh.
Right.
Call Rob, yeah.
I did.
He won't answer. His phone's here.
I would've figured it out. Thank you.
Yep, night.
Good night. What is this, extension?
Renmar Ave and
Hold off until next
Oh,
month.
there it
Hold
is.
off to the 12th.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we'll hold that off.
Minutes.
Um,
Nothing
You can't
additional,
leave, you gotta do the minutes.
I know.
nothing additional on the peels.
Okay.
Under correspondence is just the letter from Wall Street Development requesting the superseding order amendment. And then there's a TEC vegetative management report they send us every year. And then just the only other item I have on the agenda is capital budget. So the deadline for that is June 11th.
We have, we have money
June
that was
13th, sorry, June 13th.
approved for the North Street project. Do we need any more?
Good question.
We don't, nothing's been spent from that.
Nothing's been spent from that, nothing's been started for that, so.
So we probably can't ask for more, unless you know that there's something come up.
I've spoken with Gary Riggett and thought it would, maybe we could get the boardwalk done over the stream.
Right.
That we can do on our own.
Are you asking me that?
No, as far as I
Or
know,
you
we can
think
do
that
that.
you can have the funds and the
Yeah, there are funds
person
available
power
for
to,
that.
to build it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And I was thinking that we might want to get some clearing done along North Street between Adams Farm. The path that is going to be, we might do that.
Mhm.
I don't know whether, no. But I don't know what else we'd want for a capital budget.
I don't
What
know,
else?
just throwing it out there in case there's anything
You want
out there that,
you want a vehicle?
I can't really think of anything specific out, they won't know. But, tried that when I first got this job.
It's still there. Anybody else have any thoughts if we would want to put anything for capital budget? Nothing comes to my mind, so. You have any?
If
Okay,
anything
so
pops
that's
up, I'll let you know.
it. Okay.
I got a couple signs with in our budget, I've been asking, and we've been asking, and he has thrown in, some for maintenance stuff. So I recently got 2 signs made up about dumping on, conservation land.
Where are you gonna put them?
Yeah, where are they going?
Going to put one, at the, Lakeview side of Clark's Ponds, where there's been some vegetation cuttings dumped.
Okay.
And maybe the other one, there's also been some vegetative cuttings dumped near Leonard Street. I think it's Leonard Street, down by that area too.
Okay. The school season's about over, but we should probably find out if they charge for parking at the high school. I don't know, does anybody know?
How much?
Do they charge for parking at the high
I
school?
thought so.
And I thought there was some sort of a, lottery, or they, and it's not
Well,
every old
My
person that can
thought
do it,
was that
but, yeah,
people are parking,
Oh,
I know that,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they were high school students.
yeah,
um,
you're right.
That we might want to section half a dozen spots at the town, if the high school charges them for that, that we could extend 6 parking spaces or whatever number would be appropriate and charge for it.
Wow,
And then you have a sticker, and you know who is there or who is valid parking. I don't see there's any point in doing anything at this time, school's almost over.
that's an interesting idea.
But if they are charging, then it could be, and we get some, one way to control it is the issue.
Mhm.
So,
I guess they park a lot across from the senior center.
Well, that is legitimate, unfortunately, that they can do.
yeah, but, so, I'm thinking that we might want to take a look and see how many spots that we would,
Yeah, because
I mean, I
actually,
think in the past,
Yeah.
they've taken up the whole place.
right, but if you left like 4 or 5 for the public, then you'd be just
Well,
fine,
yeah.
right?
Or whatever, we
Yeah.
could pick one side, we
Yeah,
could park
yeah,
on
yeah,
this side.
yeah.
And see how many, we could get 27 cars in, we could put it elevated or
Wow.
whatever. But, no, I think,
See, now
I
you're
think
talking.
that would be the appropriate way to control that, so it's, so there's plenty of space available for the public to use,
That's really interesting, Jack.
so.
I like your thinking there, Jack.
So why don't we proceed on the basis that they do charge and that we would charge, and we'll just see how many spots, then we can talk to school department and see if that is
Okay.
something.
Well, so then we need
Maybe,
signage,
Figure out, talk
Oh,
to
yeah.
administration of how that works.
Yeah.
Right.
well, I mean, we need to do a little more, but I think we first should determine, all right, we can have 6 or 8 or 10
If the
or whatever.
commission even has authority to do that?
well, it's our property,
I don't know.
it is.
It's a new realm. I mean, any of the filing fees go to the general account. They don't go to a
Well, that's all
conservation
right,
account.
but we charge, it's a way to control it.
It's a
That's
way to
it.
control it,
Yeah.
it means you can
That's
put
it.
up signs and you go, park here,
Yeah.
not there, and therefore and you could even have signs that say, this is for use of Clark's Pond and other,
A permit
something,
required
something.
for parking here.
yeah.
So,
So that's a good point, even if the
I
money
think-
goes back into
I
the
think we
general
can-
fund.
we can start, see what happens, if that,
Do we have time limits on other places that folks
Right.
park?
you know,
Walpole, I have the answer to that question, actually. Jack,
not above the law.
Jack?
Hmm?
Walpole High School charges $200 per year
Okay,
Whoa,
to park.
yeah, I think same fee,
That's what I remember in North Attleboro is,
Wow.
yeah, it's not cheap.
yeah.
And it's, my understanding is usually the juniors, they get their
Yeah, the
they get their
later-
license in the middle
later
of the year, and then
Yeah.
they park along Ellis, and they park
Right.
along in
When you look
Parks
at those
Pond.
streets, some of them are full,
that's right.
you know,
And there may be, yeah,
so, okay, 200, you said?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Again, there's wherever the income goes, if we can keep it in conservation, it'd be one thing, but if not,
Okay. I can,
just, see where, so, just for something we can do, before September.
okay. So I think your only other is the minutes?
Okay, we have minutes
Do you have minutes? Do you have
from,
minutes?
No, I was in Finland.
There are no minutes.
the minutes from April 24th, we did not, vote on. There are a couple of,
That's right.
corrections.
That's right, there were some corrections.
Yeah, I don't know, do you have them
You weren't
handy or
there,
not?
you weren't there, Josh, so
You weren't
we,
here at the last meeting. Or what, I guess that's when we, yeah, May, whatever it was.
Doug, didn't you have some corrections that you wanted to pass to him or something? This was the last meeting, we
yeah.
didn't actually vote on them.
I have,
I
some-
don't
I have
know.
some from, in the first hearing, you reference catch basins, limited to a proposed catch basin. A catch basin goes in the street. This is a retention basin or detention basin.
Sure.
And it's in several places in the first hearing, Dover Drive. I have 1, 2, 3 notes on that one. I don't know which is the correct, a detention basin probably is the correct
Sure.
wording. And it came up again someplace else. Okay, on page 3, this is under, okay, oh, we had a bunch of them for Dover,
Yeah.
Dover
I
Drive
can-
or
I
High
can
Street.
go ahead and just change those to
Yeah.
attention basin for everything related to Dover and Jack Walsh.
This was Lot 5, Road A. It's on page 3. It's in there twice in the first paragraph. In case you don't have anything to do between now and Friday.
Can he take your
If
copy
I
and
get,
then
if
we'll
I
give
get
him
him,
back?
if I get him back.
We'll give him
I
back.
do know what he's talking about.
Do you?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
like
it,
this?
no, I
Doesn't
know.
wanna give it up,
No,
so-
it's pretty,
Yeah, they're just, you'll see them when you.
yeah, I know what you're
Look at those.
referring to. And when you, before you even said, lot 5, I knew it was gonna be there as well. So I know the correction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have any others? So subject to those revisions, someone want to move the minutes of April 24th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think everybody was here. Good. 600. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Nobody has anything else? You ready? Okay, so we'll make a motion to close the hearing,
So moved.
meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,